And Kyle and I were eating the same thing. Wednesdays it was hamburgers. Thursday was chicken on the bone. Friday for fish patty or fish.
Everybody loved that fucking fried chicken.
Yeah, fried chicken day was always popping.
What was wrong with it? Was it really poor quality?
I thought it was horrible.
It was fine. It was. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't anything like it. I had like real fried chicken like the day I went in, like a week before. But like they were like, "Yo, bro, you're not coming for fried chicken day?" And I'm like,
"You don't skip fried chicken day? Let me get your tray.
Exactly. Come on, get your tray and let me have it. I'm like, the whole thing is I don't want to stand in the line. That's
what people never understood. If I wanted to go up there, I would eat it.
Yeah.
How long is the line? How long does that take?
It varies.
5,
it's
10
not
minutes.
forever. It's not like super long. I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to walk all the way.
To the chow hall, wait in line, get it.
How many pieces of chicken? Is it like 2 legs? You get like a leg and a wing? How much?
We had quarter on the bone. Well, we had just straight like leg, drumstick, little wing thing, whatever, like about the yay big on the bone.
Of chicken.
Okay.
It was a solid piece.
And you can get an extra piece of chicken if you want an extra piece of chicken.
At the medium, you can't get ridden up.
Do you have to?
You probably
do you have to like make a deal with the
someone in the kitchen, the guys
mess hall guy?
The cooks are normally selling at black market. If you got the stamps cash, they got some wrapped up in gloves in their pants, ready to go. Give it to you in a 5-finger glove.
Based on Oz, running the kitchen is the primo thing to do because the Italians and the black gang were fighting over that the entire time.
It's a lucrative hustle if you have access to the food, especially the veggie prep guys that can get onions and bell peppers. Those are always a hot commodity everywhere I go. They're like $1.50, $2 each.
Yeah, that was what was so cool about when Snow made me that like nacho bowl on my last day, because it was like bell peppers and onions and real cheese and stuff, and it was
delicious.
I hadn't had anything close to real food in so long.
And now you see what onions and bell peppers cost so much. It's hard for them to smuggle out, but they make the food pop so much better. 100% black market. But yeah, it is a good hustle. I mean, the other dudes, store men make more money probably, but it's a solid hustle. It's a respectable hustle, taking food out of the chow hall and selling it. You might be able to get access to some oranges. And unlike at Kyle's, we didn't have street liquor at ours, so we'd made plenty of prison wine and prison moonshine.
Were you around, or did you help make the wine or anything at any point?
Oh, yeah. There were a couple times that I helped with the batches.
How do you do it?
Pretty much you take your khaki pants that they issue you in there. I don't think Kyle had khakis. You guys have a jumper thing, right? Like a jumpsuit.
Green pants,
jumpsuit, right?
Green button up top.
That's right. Yeah, we have the khakis at the mediums and the higher up security. You cut off a leg and stitch the bottom of it to make basically a big sleeve. Put a garbage bag in it for lining. Put you a good 6 to 12 Mountain Dews in it, like half a gallon of water, as much powdered sugar as you can, not powdered, but like grain sugar as you can possibly come across. Some yeast from the kitchen. That's always a big hot commodity. You get in big trouble getting caught with that. And throw a couple of oranges in there for good measure. Pretty much let the bitch sit in the wall for, if it's your first batch with no kicker, like a week. If you've already got kicker, like the leftover bacteria from your last batch to throw in there and kickstart it like 3-4 days. Pretty much once it gets ready, you burp the bag. You got to make sure that the bag is sealed. Somebody's got to periodically check on it about every hour so it doesn't pop and burp it. Let all that gas build up, come out from the alcohol. And then once it's done, it's basically very powerful, fizzy wine. That shouldn't taste sweet. Hopefully the sugar's all been converted to alcohol. It does get very stout. The moonshine process, I was not as involved with. That involves making a stinger out of hair clippers, electricity, boiling it to a certain degree, and then putting a trash bag over it to collect the distilled alcohol. I didn't get involved in that, but I made a lot of wine.
This is some impressive engineering from prisoners. Very impressive.
Whenever you see anything a prisoner has made with their hands and they knew what they were doing, it's pretty cool. Like all I saw was lighters, like that people had made, like battery powered cigarette lighters.
Yeah,
but it was like wool. You could see, like, man, he put a lot of time and effort in this. Like
necessity is the mother of invention. Prison is where you really find that out. I've said that a lot. Like the ingenuity that you see in there is amazing, and even simple shit that people think of for quality of life. Like when I first went in, I had glasses. I couldn't think of where to put my glasses. I saw a guy toothpasted a fucking milk carton to the wall by his bunk. Just set his damn glasses in there every night. Easy, just little simple shit like that. Yeah. When you don't respect the house and you can do whatever you want to the paint and the walls, you can do amazing things.
Wow.
That's wild.
I was camping this summer, and we picked up this guy, rode with his dog on the gas tank. And we didn't know him or anything, but he was by himself. So we let him sort of join our group for a bit. And I recognized his tattoos as likely to be prison tattoos. Like there's an artistic style and stuff. And we have dinner, and he starts expertly putting together some like ramen noodles and Chef Boyardee and turning it into something else.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, is that a prison recipe? And he goes, no. And I say, let me rephrase. be honest, is that a prison recipe? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah, it is. You see somebody make something incredible out of ramen, you already know the business.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my head wrapped around the ramen noodle thing. It didn't make sense when that chili existed. It was just so much. It was so good. I hated the ramen. I ate ramen like 3 times.
I always loved the ramen. I fucked with the ramen top. I dumped mackerel in it, whatever. It was
Which
so
flavor?
versatile.
Which flavor of ramen were you a big fan of?
I mostly like spicy chicken, the picante chicken.
Yeah.
I can no longer eat creamy chicken or the chili flavored kind. Those two, I got very, very tired of those. Creamy chicken, you can taste it for 6 hours, and the chili one just is burned into my brain because it's all they sold in my jail for like 4 months at one point. And I just cannot stomach the taste of it anymore.
The guys would add mayonnaise to it, and
I saw that shit. Squirt a whole 2-3 packs of mayonnaise in that bitch. I don't know what's up with that.
We had the whole
gross.
squeeze thing. We had shelf stable mayonnaise that comes in a fucking squeeze thing,
and they just load it.
They'd load it up, and I was like, "Oh no, guys.
Gross, man!"
You can just boil it and then add that fucking flavor packet, and it's pretty fucking good.
It's already pretty bad for you. You don't have to add a bunch of lard to it.
It was awful. It was awful. I ate a little bit, but mostly I ate those chilies, and I didn't eat much while I was there anyway.
Like the chili pouches off the store.
Yeah, those were so fucking good.
Those are really good.
Yeah, I get the jalapeno slices in that huge ass jar, and I didn't know that when you bought jalapeno slices, they were going to give me like a half gallon of them. So I bought 3 jars the first day I got there or something.
It's like
because I thought I was going to
stupid ass screw top.
Nobody tells you how many are going to be in anything. So when you buy cheese, you're like, how much you don't know what you're getting.
Is it one slice? Is it a block? You don't know.
I wish I had a commissary list still.
I've got one somewhere actually.
It's pretty good shit. I mean,
look it up. It's about.
I usually tell people it's like everything you can get inside of a good gas station that isn't like the burgers and taquitos and nonsense.
Right.
Yeah. Everything that's on the shelves,
chili pouches and Vienna sausages, mackerel, ramen, stuff like that. Toothbrushes and toothpaste,
chips and sodas and stuff. Just everything that's bad for you. Yeah.
What was the item that if you're a new guy and you went to load up on it that you were most likely to be harassed for having? Like if some guy bought 8 packs of chips, is he signing himself up to get harassed? Or is it Max? Or is it?
I feel like not necessarily.
Cheese,
the sodas are a hot commodity because at the mediums they're limited. You can only get a 12-pack, and so people will be like, "What you gonna do with those sodas, man? Are you gonna drink them? Can I sell those? Let me buy those from you because a lot of dudes sell them.
Nah,
well, dudes sell them for profit. I don't know if they did that at the camp, but they'll fill up their trash can with ice and have cold sodas, and you can buy one for 2 stamps, and so they'll turn a little profit on it. And you get it already freezing cold.
I would take
trying to buy them.
I would take that giant ass mug and fill it up in the ice machine because I don't know about you, we have access to one of those really nice ice machine that makes
big ass ice machine we have,
and I'd fill that thing up and I'd put my Diet Pepsi down in it and make a little cooler to a refrigerator.
Yeah, with your mug, the big clear gallon mug, the big with the handle,
huge. That thing was full of ice water all day.
It was super huge. It worked as a cooler for one beverage at a time.
Yep.
Maybe
I've always wondered this about it. Like if you go into a prison like you were in, and let's say I'm a guy worth $200 million on the outside. If I go in there and I'm like, I'll take everything from the commissary, I'll take whatever this, am I a target or am I able to be like, hey, anybody who comes near me, beat the shit out of them, and I'll give you way more money than anybody here can even compete with?
I personally don't think it would come to that.
You don't think so?
For what it's worth, there's a spending limit. There's a cap at $360 per month that you can spend. Certain things don't come off of that limit, like stamps and certain toiletries and hygiene products, but some dudes do that. Some dudes go at the start of the month and they drop their whole spending limit for the month and then fill up their locker and just eat off it for the month. So no, I don't think you'd be particularly targeted. You have a lot of bags of store coming back. You'd have to have somebody to help you, but nobody's going to just be trying to beg and bum off of you like that. If you're just doing your time and staying out of the way, they're going to stay out of your way,
But if you wanted to become the pod boss, could you do that via the amount of fucking stamps that you acquired? Like you're just paying some guy named.
I don't see why not.
You're talking about like in Civilization, instead of a domination victory, you're trying to get
I'm trying to win economically in my prison stint. Yeah.
Probably. You could probably pay some people off.
It probably doesn't take $200 million to dominate financially the prison population. Probably 1 million will do it.
I was just making up a ridiculously
probably $100,000.
I was going to say, as far as spending too much and making yourself a target or anything. The thing was that everybody was coming back to their cell with a Christmas sack of stuff on commissary day. So it's you're not if you literally have 30 pounds of commissary that you're bringing back in a sack that you have to drag, no one is going to blink an eye because
You're not going to blink an eye.
there's
She was
someone
common.
coming right behind you.
it's
There's the same
common.
shit.
Okay.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that probably a quarter of the inmates or so either don't make commissary often or not at all, or they're,
Yeah, there were
or
guys that
whatever.
had a hard
But
time.
it's definitely common enough to where you're not going to get people looking at you because you bought a lot of commissary.
Mm-mm.
There's plenty
No,
of dudes in there that are perfectly upset financially and got no problem maxing out their limit once a month.
How often can you go to commissary?
Once a week. Unless you're at your spending limit, in which case then you can only buy approved items like stamps and hygiene and stuff. But once a
That's
week,
like
you get a rotating
loophole,
day.
though. Can't I just buy like $100 worth of stamps and then buy your ramen noodles?
You can get one book of stamps per week on the commissary. And also at the prisons that I was at, the stamps between inmates were only worth 33 cents. So there was really no reason to ever buy them off
So you
commissary.
couldn't max out your commissary and then buy a bunch of stamps and then use those stamps to buy more of the unapproved unlimited items or limited items, I suppose.
Yeah.
You could.
You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
But
you'll
you could
take
You
get
can
an
remove the
unlimited
middleman
amount
and
of
just swap
stamps.
them. Like you can be like, you're not getting your sodas this week. I'll get you $3 worth of mackerel, and okay, cool. You can get my sodas,
What was a lot more common was to either, for us anyway, was to either swap days with somebody, or like be like, get this for me today, and I'll get this for you tomorrow,
Yeah.
or even like, I lost my train of thought.
that
for
helps, but
three-store
I
man.
want to spend more than 360. That's my goal. Like,
Mm.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
seems like based on what he said, you can.
well,
The
he
main
said
way,
you
in my
could
opinion,
apply-
to circumvent it is to go black market, get your people on the street to send some money to his people on the street, and he just gives me the stamps. That's the best way to go about it, in my opinion. I did that all the time, straight up illicit black market trading for stamps. He gets word, hey, my people your people just sent my wife $100. He gives you $100 worth of stamps. Now I can get whatever I want without touching my commissary limit.
because
Hey,
everyone up
here's
and down.
$5. Give me $5 worth of this, and you get sodas, and you get sodas, and now I've got 200 sodas coming in one day.
That
And
makes
the other
sense.
thing is like $120 a week or whatever it came to is a shitload of junk
That's a
food for a
fuck
week.
ton of commissary.
Like it's so much. You're not going to run out unless you really pour planly on like one item. Like I think one time I
Right.
ran out of like salsa. It's like, oh, I didn't get 10 cups of salsa this week. I
Mhm.
only got 8, and I had to borrow a cup of salsa. But like normally, like
$100 a commissary a week is a fuck
It's-
ton to blow through.
it literally is. We have this laundry bag that's like this,
Mesh
and-
laundry bag,
this
big white,
mesh, and you'd be walking back with that fucker just full of shit.
crunching.
It's great. Yeah.
Breaking your
interesting.
potato chips.
Yeah, they have a whole like in the place where we go to get commissary, like it's like a giant candy store back there. Like there's so much shit, and like
Mhm.
they had it down to an art. There's a whole system. It's pretty cool.
Do any of like because I know lots of people in prison spend a huge amount of their time lifting weights and working out. Like, did those guys ever like regularly supplement their protein with like
Yeah,
beef
we have protein
jerky and
powder.
stuff?
So we had protein
you can get
powder.
protein powder.
We couldn't at
protein
the medium,
powder,
but I heard about it. You can
and
get
you could
protein bars.
and you could steal eggs from the kitchen. So like
What
that's
kind
what
of
Snow would
protein
do.
powder? Just like basic,
Yeah, yeah. It was
lowest
like
level whey
yeah,
protein.
Yeah, like whey protein. Because I remember Snow asked me one day how many grams of protein per pound that he weighed he should be eating. And like, so when I spoke to Kitty on the phone that day, I asked her to Google it for me real quick. And then she told me, and I went back and told him. And he started doing the math. He's like, so I have my shake in the morning. So that's 40 grams of protein. He's like going through, and I'm sitting there for 5 minutes nodding and smiling as he counts grams of protein that he's had today. And at the end, I'm like, that's real good.
As
That's
you
real
should.
good.
He
Good
was
job,
a very
buddy.
useful guy
That's a
for you.
lot of protein you got. Good job. like, you think that's enough? I'm like, probably.
Probably so. You're probably good.
I think I want to add more.
I mean, you want more pack of
You're the
mackerel,
boss.
32 grams.
Who fucking cares? Like, just on and on
Fucking
about.
cares. He does.